The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, that's also argument for Team Trump. I mean, that's Trump's argument. Is what he's doing is he's boosting up business in the United States, and whether or not you love him or hate him, what he's doing is having a positive net effect on the global economy, or particularly the United States economy, and that's going to make us stronger. I mean, this is, whether you love him or hate him, you've got to look at that objectively and go, okay, well, is there any merit to what he's saying? Well, I don't understand economics. I just trust people that study it. I don't have the time. But they're saying, yes, in some ways, he's doing things that benefit business.
I think that the trouble with the approach that Trump has taken, he obviously he's got his shtick and he's got the things that he's got his talking points, the things that he says, but he is continuing this mentality when we look at like the trade war with China and the trade conflict that he started with Canada and now with different European countries. It's the zero-sum mentality that in order for us and our economy and our people to win, then the people or the economies of these other countries have to suffer. And that's where I agree with what you just said, Jocko, about building helping grow a strong global economy. Shared prosperity. I mean, you look at the opportunity that would provide for peace and less conflict, rather than what we're seeing, and this is playing out in real time with China right now, where you see this trade war that is escalating, a tariff war that's escalating. I have met with farmers in Iowa who are hurting tremendously because of this trade and tariff war, manufacturers, small business owners, and the danger of this continuing to grow and continuing to escalate. An economic war can very easily turn into a hot war. And we're talking about a nuclear-armed country where these ever-escalating tensions push us closer and closer to the brink of nuclear catastrophe. Something nuclear strategists are saying that we are closer to now than at least in a generation. I think this is where the foreign policy that I'm putting forward to the American people, that I will lead with, is one that is focused on engaging with other countries, being that force for good, focusing on cooperation rather than conflict in every respect, being able to work out. Yeah, we do have trade differences with China. There's no question about that, but being able to do so in a way that is not further pushing us closer and closer to the brink of a hot war and potentially with disastrous consequences. Can you get into that? Like,
what is the trade? What is the issue with China? Like, what is Trump feels like we don't have a fair deal, right? That's what he's stated.
I think his diagnosis, I think, is correct. I think that's widely accepted. There's the ongoing trade imbalance with China and some of the issues with IP theft. I think those are the top two that come to the forefront. The problem is not with the diagnosis of the issue. It is how he's going about it in a very shoot from the hip kind of way. I mean, he's like almost conducting his negotiations via Twitter. He's got negotiators who are sitting across from the Chinese saying, hey, okay, we're getting closer to a deal. We're going to work this out. Then all of a sudden something goes out on Twitter and they're like, whoa, man, like the whole thing just changed, which, it's maybe funny when Trump is putting out something with Trump Tower in Greenland, but when there are such real consequences to the day-to-day lives of the American people, and when we're pushing us closer and closer to the brink of a nuclear catastrophe, escalating these tensions with countries like China and with Russia, it's serious. The stakes are very high. And so this is more about how Trump is doing this in such an irresponsible way that's creating destabilization and uncertainty, both with our economy and also in our relationships with other countries.
It's everything that made him famous as a businessman. All the brashness, all the shooting from the hip. Yeah. The idea that everybody thought that he was going to change when he got into the White House is hilarious. The guy's 73.
Oh, I actually, you can laugh at me then, because I thought, well, he got elected. I was like, okay, well, this is going to be interesting to see him, kind of become presidential. And then like, whatever, one day into it, he was sending out a tweet about somebody. I was like,
Rosie
okay.
O'Donnell's a pig.
And he's, yeah, exactly.
He's so crazy.
But what that means is he's unpredictable, right?
Yes,
and so he's the guy in the bar that you look at and you're like, well, I'm just going to give that guy a little extra clearance because he looks like he's crazy.
Right.
So I think that might be what he either thinks he's doing or not. But here's the interesting thing about this, okay? And I don't want to quote numbers on these things because I'm not sure what they are right now, but I got a factory up in Maine. We make clothes. We make jeans. We make jiu-jitsu gis, all right? all made in America from the cotton that's grown in America. It's woven. We weave it in our factory. We're doing everything here. Now, there's things like labor. Labor is more expensive in America because we pay our workers because they're awesome. And so it costs a little bit more to build the product. If you have a Chinese company that can make a jiu-jitsu gi and they're paying their workers $1 a day, literally, and then they can ship that gi over here, well, then they can beat us on the price. Now, their quality's not as good, but they can beat us on the price. And someone goes, okay, well, I can pay, $70 for this Chinese gi or $100 for this American gi. Okay, I'm going to buy the Chinese one at $70. So, and this part happened again. The details I can't quite remember, but they said, hey, we're not going to put a tariff on gis coming into America because they can't be made here. Because they can't be made here. And guess what?
This is specific to gi?
Specific.
Wow.
It was like, okay.
They can't be made
They can't be made here. And it was actually pretty true.
When was this?
I don't know. Again, I'm stepping out on a ledge here. I got to have my buddy Pete come on this podcast.
They've been made here forever, though.
No, they haven't. But they've been made in Pakistan
Really?
and China. And there was one company that was making them down in Brazil. But we said, no, actually, they can't be made here and we're making them here. And they put a 7% tariff on gis from overseas. Whoa. And so now that kind of equalizes the price. Ours is a little bit more expensive, but it's made in America and it's higher quality. So people say, okay, we'll buy them here.
Are you the only company in America
that is making these?
So all these companies that are American companies, they're buying them overseas.
100%. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And
what's your gi company, just so everybody knows?
It's Origin, originmain.com.